All right, hello. My name is Justin Schrader. I'm the designer of 7th Inning Stretch, and I'm here today to give you an idea of how the two-player duel mode works. Most of the gameplay is going to be the same, but there are a few key differences. So the first is in team construction. So I have the cards divided here into separate piles. So first of all, there are two pitchers among the 18 basic starting cards. So you just give one to each player, doesn't matter, they have the same ability. Now the batters for the starting cards, we're going to deal 4 to each player after shuffling them, of course. And then we're going to do a standard draft, pick and pass. So let's start here. My wife would draft first. So she's got a couple good guys. This one gives 3 dice. She'd definitely take that one, I think. I'm going to grab the one that gives 2 dice. And now here, I don't know, she'll take this one. I'll take this guy. And in case this wasn't clear, these are prototype components that I made myself at home. As you can see on the GameFound page, the final version is going to look much, much better. So if you're confused by that, don't worry. All right, now it's my turn. Oh, got a couple good choices here. I'm going to take this one here. Removes all the resources from my pool, but gets an automatic hit. My wife's going to take Kenny. I'll grab this one and then there. All right. And now, so we each have 4 players, and then we will repeat. I'll draft first this time. I'm taking Curtis. There we go. Just speed this along a little bit. She would probably take him. There we go. All right, so that's how we divide up the basic players. Now for the more advanced players, these decks are shuffled. Of course, we're going to deal 3 cards of each type to each player. So 3 yellow and 3 red. The rest of these we can set aside. They're not going to be used. And now from these, we do another draft. And in this part of the draft, I think it's even more interesting because now you don't only have better players, but also not sure how many pitchers are going to be available. And so you have to kind of balance, are you going to go for offense or defense? So here my wife is going to pick first. There's only one pitcher here. She's going to nab him. Here's another one that gives me 3 dice. There's one of those sort of in each level, so I'm definitely taking that. Oh, she'll go there. I'll take him. Like that. Now look at my starting hand. All right, I've got 3 of these are pitchers. So I definitely want to get, probably at least 2 of these. Let's see. Oh. I like this one. Get to re-roll any subset of dice. Comes back to my wife. She's thinking the same thing. She's going to grab this one that cancels runs. I'll take the final pitcher. She'll take here. And the names on these cards have changed also, but the abilities should be the same. So, all right, now we've drafted our teams. We're both going to set our lineups, and I'll go ahead and do that and be right back. All right, I've got the lineup set, and we are ready to go. So first big difference for 2-player mode is that how you construct your team. You have that draft at the beginning. Second big difference is you're playing a full 9-inning game. So just one 9-inning game all the way through. And then the third difference is just the sequence of each at-bat in each inning. It mostly works the same, especially on offense, but now there are 2 new steps added for the defense. At the beginning of each at-bat, first the defense is allowed to make a pitching change if they would like. So over here you can see my active pitchers. My wife has gone with the basic pitcher who has unlimited stamina. So she's going to put her starter in, and then she's saving her better pitchers to close out the game. I'm sort of going the opposite way. I'm going to start out with my best pitchers, use them to hopefully avoid any real bad innings early on, and then I'll turn it over to the unlimited guy at the end, and hopefully he can close it out. So we'll see how that goes. So you can make a pitching change at the beginning of each at bat, and then at the end of each at bat, after the offensive player has rolled their dice, applied any tokens they want, but before they actually determine the outcome of the at bat, the opposing player can activate their pitcher. Right. So you'll see how that works. So let's go ahead and get started. My wife's lineup here is at the top, mine is on the bottom. So we'll have her be the visiting team since her lineup's on top. So first player, you start at the top of the order since this is a normal game. No need to roll the die and start at a random place in the middle. So she gets 3 dice. First player's out. Moves on. Next player doesn't get any dice but gets a reroll token to the pool. And now this player needs at least a 4 or higher to get on base. So maybe she'll roll 2 dice. All right. So she has a 5. That's enough for a single. My pitcher would allow me to take exhaustion to reroll any subset, but I'm going to let her have her single. So we move a runner to first base. Next player gets 2 dice and a reroll token, but would need to roll 3 consecutive values, and I only have 3. And the next player doesn't get any dice, so I'm going to go ahead and just take it out. Now here, this player needs a 4, 5, or 6. I'm going to roll 2 dice again, and I got a couple reroll tokens. All right, so we got a 4. That's a single. She was hoping for more to get an extra base hit. But you know what? A hit's a hit. She's going to take it. So 2 runners on now. Next player gets a die, and now needs to have some values 4 or higher. So there's 1. That would be a single. But she's going to reroll this other one. And, what's she going to do? She'll save this. So right now, another base hit. That loads the bases. There was a runner at second. So if she had extra dice in her pool, she could have tried to make that runner score, but with no dice in her pool, she can't do that. So move on. This player now needs to get a 6. She's got 2 dice and a reroll. And there it is. Now, because she knows there's a decent chance I'm going to use my pitcher's ability, she's going to go ahead and re-roll that 2 just in the off chance she can get a 6. Oh, it's still 2. So if I left it this way, she would get a single. She'd score a run. But I'm going to go ahead and use my pitcher's ability to re-roll this 6. Try to get out of this inning. Oh my goodness. Oh, that hurt. Gosh, I don't want to use up all of his re-rolls on just a single here. Okay, I'm gonna have to let it stand. So single moves everyone around. She gets a run. Again, had she saved a die, she could have maybe tried to score from second, but she didn't. Now we get to the next guy. He doesn't provide any dice, so she could try to put in a pinch hitter, but she's just going to let it go there. So he gets out. That's the 3rd out of the inning. So we move the marker, clear off the dice, and she gets 1 run, and then it's my turn. Come on. So first guy removes all the resources from my pool and then gets a single. Nothing my wife can do about that. Next player gets 3 dice and an adjust token. And I can discard 1 die to activate a sacrifice. It's an optional ability, but I'm going to do that. So the runner moves to second. This batter is out. Because now my next batter, Curtis Garcia, first of all, he gets +1 die per base runner. There's 1 guy on base. And if first base is empty, he gets a walk. First base is empty, so he gets a walk. Now the next guy comes up. He gets 2 dice. So I'm looking pretty good here. I've got a lot of dice in my pool. Only 1 out. So I could try to roll for this player's ability, but I know I have Eddie Campbell coming up. And if he rolls 2 pair, that's a home run. I'd really love to do that. So I'm going to take an out with this guy. Eddie Campbell gets 1 more die and another adjustment token. Now for his card, I am not allowed to use the adjustment tokens. I can only use rerolls if I have them, which I don't. So I'm only going to get 1 shot at this, and I need 2 pair. So I'm going to go ahead and roll everything I have and hope for a 3-run homer. Oh no, and I didn't get it. I have 2 5s, but I don't have a second pair. So he's out. My wife dodged a bullet, and we moved to the second inning. All right. So clear everything off. All right, now my wife, her first batter gets 2 dice. He would need to roll a pair to get on. Not very likely, so she's going to take the out. Next player gets a die. She's going to go ahead and roll all 3 of them. And she got a sum of 11, which is exactly what he needed for a double. Oh, man. I'm tempted to re-roll that 5. Yeah, I can't let this game get out of hand. So I'm going to re-roll the 5. All right, I knocked it down to a single at least. All right. Next player gets 3 dice. It's going to be an automatic out. She could discard all 3 dice for a sacrifice, but not really worth it. Next guy comes up, gets a reroll token. Oh, man. She's going to need to save some dice for the next player. She's going to try her luck with only 1. Okay, she got a 5. That's a single. Next player gets 2 dice and another reroll token. But now she needs to roll 3 of a kind to get it, or not a straight of 3 to get a single. So there's 2 outs. She might as well try it. That's not looking very good. She's going to keep the 2, re-roll the other ones. This is the 3rd out, so she might as well spend this one. Oh, wanted to be a 3. But I did not get a run, so this one player's out. That's 3 outs. And I gotta goose egg that inning. Alright, my turn. Let's see what I can do. First guy gets 2 dice, but he's gonna be out. Next player gets a die and an adjust token. And we're gonna roll all 3 and see what we can do. So I need to get at least 2 consecutive. So I'm going to spend this to turn this die into a 4. And now I have 4, 5. So that's a base hit. Next guy gets a die and a reroll. Doesn't have enough, so he's also going to be out. Next player gets no dice, but another reroll token. And if I get an even number, I get a hit. It's not even. So I could obviously re-roll. Problem is, if I just let this guy get out, I get to start with the top of my order next inning. So I'm just going to do that. Maybe my wife knows that. She gets to re-roll 1 die per inning, so she's going to go ahead and re-roll this to try to make it. Oh, stinker. Okay. So she turned it into a single. So now I'm still alive. I come here. He removes all resources. So that means dice and tokens go back to the supply. It's an automatic single. And now I come here and I have a choice to make. I got the bases loaded with 2 outs. This player is going to be an automatic out. So I could try to put in a substitute, maybe an Andre Parker here. He would get 1 die, and he'd have to roll a 6. Now that would be great, it'd give me 2 runs, but then this player that gives me lots of dice would be out of the game for the rest of the game. Just like in real baseball, once you substitute a player out, they're done. So, man, I'm just going to take that out, move my batter to the next one, and we'll go to the 3rd inning. My wife's still up 1-0. Right. She has kind of a similar issue here. Her first player doesn't get any dice, so it's going to be an automatic out. But he's a good player, so she's going to leave him in and take the out. Next player gets 1 die, needs a 4+. Oh, got a 4+. So that's a single. The next player gets 2 dice. And I think she's just going to take it out and move to the next guy. So again, Kenny Williams, you can gamble if you want. I have 2 outs, so I might as well try. I need a 4+. Got it. All right. So that is a double. And now here, so normally the runner at first would move to 3rd. My wife does have a die left over. And so if she wants, she could try to send that runner home. To score from 1st on a double, you need to roll a 6, which is a little bit easier if you have more dice or any tokens. She doesn't have any of those. So she can either save this for the next guy. What's more likely? Yeah, she's going to do that. So she's not going to send the runner. Next guy gets 2 dice, and now he needs a match. 2 matching dice to get a hit. So 2, 3, 4. That would have been great for a different player, but not this one. So that's her 3rd out. No runs scored. We move to the next one in order. Now it's my turn, bottom of the 3rd. Curtis Garcia leads off. There are no base runners, so he doesn't get any dice, but first base is open. Next guy gets 2 dice. Needs a sum of 12. Probably not going to happen, so I'm just going to take the out. Eddie Campbell gets a die and an adjust token. Again, he needs 4 dice. So that's not going to be enough. So he takes an out. So 2 outs, move to the next guy. He gets 2 dice. I need 3 distinct. You know, I'm pretty confident I can do that with just 3. Of course, I failed, but I can spend my adjust token to change this 1 into a 2. Now I do have 3 unique dice. So that's another base hit. And so my wife could, actually, you know what, there's 2 outs. Yeah, she's going to re-roll one of these right now. She's going to use her pitcher's ability to re-roll the 2. Oh, and it ended up a 2 again. So she has, you know, used her pitcher's ability for the inning. And now I've got 2 runners on base with 2 outs. And next guy comes up, gets a die and an adjust token. And I'm looking for a run, preferably a run of 3. That would actually score a run. So let's see what we got. There it is. 1, 2, 3. Nothing my wife could do about it. She used her pitcher's ability already. So that is an RBI double. The runner from second scores. The runner from first moves to third. And I'm on the board. Next player would get a die. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to do a pinch hit here. So this guy is out of the game for good. I'll turn him sideways over here. And I'm going to bring in Andre Parker. So Andre Parker gets 1 die. And now if I get a 6, that's a double. That would be 2 more runs. That would be huge. Now because I have the adjust token, I really only need a 5 or a 6. Did not get it. Okay. So that's 3 outs. So I get to clear these up. But I'm on the board, so it's 1-1 after 3 innings. Right. 1 die and an out for this first batter. 3 dice and an out for the second one. Let's see what my wife can string together. She wants to save some dice in case she gets on. So she's only going to roll 1. 50-50 chance. It's enough for a single. Again, I could use my final re-roll, but I really don't want to do that yet. I'm going to let her take a few chances. Right, so she gets 2 dice and another re-roll. She needs to get a straight of 3. She's going to roll 4 dice. 1, 2, 5, and 6. That's not great. She's going to keep the 5 and 6 maybe. Reroll looking for a 4. Try it one more time. And there it is. 4, 5, 6. All right. So that's another hit. Moves on to the next one. Yeah, there's only 1 die left. And a 1 is going to be an out. All right. So I dodged a bullet there. A couple hits, but no runs. Let's move to the bottom of the 4th. My leadoff batter gets a reroll token. Nothing else. Yeah, I'll just take the out. Next guy removes all my resources, but gets a hit. Here I get 3 dice and a token. I'm going to discard a die to do a sacrifice. Now this guy gets a die for each base runner and then automatic walk. Right. Now I come to this guy, 2 more dice, and I got 2 outs, so I really need to make sure he gets on. I'm just gonna roll all my dice. I know the next guy's gonna be out, but might as well do it. And might as well use this token while I'm at it. So I needed to get at least 12. That's definitely 12, and there's nothing my wife could do to stop it. So that's gonna be a double. Runners move to second, third, 1 run comes in. I probably should have saved a die to maybe send the runner from first to try to score, but too late for that. So next player will take an out, and then that's the end of the inning. But I grabbed the lead 2-1 after 4. All right. My wife comes up. 1 die needs a 4+. Got it. That's the base hit. Delete it off. Next player gets 2 dice. Now she knows the player after this is not going to give her any dice, so she's going to save 1, but she's going to try 1. Maybe she can get a sacrifice out of this, and in fact she did. So runner moves over, 1 out, and now Kenny Williams comes up, and so here she's got an interesting choice, right? If she rolls the die, she's either going to score a run, or it's going to be an inning-ending double play, because the batter and the base runner who's farthest along are going to be out. But she's going to go ahead and try it. I mean, why not? 6. All right. So if I leave it like that, she's going to score. I'm going to go ahead and use my final stamina to re-roll that, though. Oh, no. So still a double. So the run scores. Now as she moves to the next batter, I'm I'm going to go ahead and make a pitching change. This guy is exhausted, so no reason keeping him in. And I'm going to switch this up, and I'm going to put my long-term guy in. My last pitcher only has 1 stamina. I'm going to save him for the 9th inning, hopefully to close it out. All right. So she gets 2 dice. And again, she could try rolling a pair, but she's just going to take the out. Now see what last player can do. 3 dice, needs at least a 7 for a hit, a 12 or 11 for a double. Ooh, she got a 7 barely. It doesn't hurt. I'm going to go ahead and use my once per inning ability on my new pitcher. Re-roll the 3. Okay, didn't make it any worse. It's still a single. So she has runners at the corners now, but her next player is an automatic out unless she has a substitute she can make that's going to help, and she does not. So she got another run, but that's going to end the inning. Let's see what I can do in the bottom of the 5th. All right, leadoff guy, 2 dice and an out. Next guy gets a die and an adjust. And I'm going to go ahead and roll. And I can use the adjust to turn this to a 4. So I've got a 3, 4, 5, which is good for a double. Yeah, my wife's probably going to use her ability now and re-roll that 4. Okay. So she destroyed not only the double, but he's actually out now. So 2 outs. Andre Parker might as well try. Oh, he did get a 6. That's a double. But it's going to be too little too late because my last batter doesn't get any dice. So we'll be back at the top for the next inning. All right, 2-2 after 5. Let's see. It's about time to make a substitution. Her first batter here is not going to give her any dice. She's going to go ahead and take him out, replace him with this guy who gets a die and a reroll. Still not going to be able to get on base himself, but at least has some resources to start things off. Next guy gets 2 and a reroll. And she's just going to take another out and hope that the next couple guys can do some damage. So first up, she's going to roll 2 dice here. Okay, a 5 and a 3. The 5's good, the 3's not. She's actually going to spend a reroll. That's still a 3. Okay. And the reason she did that is because she knows I'm going to re-roll this 5 to try to make it an out. Well, I failed. Okay. So we get a single there. There's still 2 outs. Next batter gets a die. Going to roll both of them here. Need at least a 4. Didn't get it. Try again. Still didn't get it. All right, so inning over for her. No damage done. And I get to start with the top of my lineup. All right, I'm feeling good about this. So leadoff single. 3 dice and a token. I discard a die to sacrifice. Next player gets 1 die and an automatic walk. And now, as we get to the next player, I'm going to take 2 dice, and I'm saving it again. I want to try for the home run like I did the first inning. So I'm moving to the next batter, but my wife decides it's time to go to the bullpen. Right? And she's going to go ahead and put in Ryan Nolan. Can't remember the name in the final version, but he can cancel 3 runs. So if I do happen to hit a home run, she's just going to be able to wipe it out. But let's see what happens. All right. So Eddie Campbell gets a die and an adjust token. He cannot use adjust tokens, so I need to get 2 pairs. And there it is. Pair of 3s, pairs of 2s. So Eddie Campbell hits a 3-run home run. Right? Now my wife's ability just applies at the end of the inning here. So I'm going to keep going. The next guy is going to be my 3rd out. So I would have 3 runs, but she is going to use all 3 of her pitcher's exhaustion to cancel those runs. So we are tied 2-2 after 6. Top of the 7th, she's going to get 2 dice. She's just going to save those and take it out. Next guy, she might as well gamble. So it's a 2. It would be a double play, but there's actually no one on base, so it's just 1 out. All right, next guy gets 2 dice, and she's going to roll 2 to see what happens. She needs a pair, didn't get it. All right. 1, 2, 3 inning. I like that. Let's go to the bottom. And I get a die and an adjust token, but he's going to be out. All right, next guy gets a die, and what do I do? 2 6s would be a home run. Oh, my wife's going to replace her pitcher. This guy's exhausted, so she's on her last one. She's got to be careful because once this guy gets tired, she's not going to be able to do anything during my bets. So I might as well try. I mean, 2 6s would be a home run. That would be incredible. It's the exact opposite. All right, so that's 2 outs for me. Last guy doesn't get any dice, so that's 3 outs. And we move to the 8th, still 2-2. All right. First guy up for my wife gets a die, but is going to be out. Next one gets 3 dice, but is going to be out, so this is not looking good for her. Let's see what she can do. Next one gets a die and a reroll. And now she needs either 3 evens or 3 odds to get on base. So she's going to go ahead and roll 4 dice. Right, so she got 3 odds, which is a walk, and I'm going to let her have that. So a 2-out walk. Next player comes up, and she's in a tough spot. She's in a tough spot. She's going to make a substitute here. Bring on Sammy Abbott. So he gets a die, and now his ability, you take the difference between the highest and lowest die. So right now that's a 4, which would be a single. I have a reroll. I might as well use it. I'm going to reroll that 1. Okay, now the difference between high and low is 0. That's an out. So that's her 3rd out. And that's good for me because now her leadoff batter the next inning is going to give her 0 dice. All right. So let's move to the bottom of the 8th. Leadoff guy gets on base. Next guy gets 3 dice and a adjust token. He's going to remove 1 to sacrifice. Now, my wife's pitcher's ability lets her add or remove dice from the pool. Now, in the 2-player version, you'd never want to add dice. But at the end of an at-bat, she could remove dice from my pool. She knows where I'm going. I'm trying to get back to that home run guy. She's going to spend two tokens here to get rid of those 2 dice I have left over, which hurts. So next guy up is going to get 1 die, and first base is open. Next one up gets 2 dice. And so here I'm kind of stuck. You know, I might as well try this. Because a double would mean a run. That is not going to give me 12, and obviously this token's not going to help. So that's the second out. Eddie Campbell, I don't have enough dice. That's the third out. All right. Well, we go to the 9th, and it's still tied 2-2. So my wife has a decision to make, and actually, maybe it's not that hard of a decision. This guy gives 0 dice. He's coming out. Pinch hitter's coming in. He gives her a die, but not only that, she gets to remove exhaustion from her active pitcher. So that's really helpful for her right now. All right, but he is out. Next guy gets a die. She's going to roll both of them. Needs at least a 4. There's a 4. I might as well re-roll that using my pitcher's ability. Ugh, didn't help. Okay. So runner on. My pitcher's done. Next guy gets 2 dice. And you know, she'd really love to get a sacrifice and then a double, which would give her a run. Probably her best chance. So she's going to try that. Well, first roll failed. So there's 2 outs. Might as well roll for the double and see what happens. Okay, she got it. So second and third now. And next guy comes up. He gets 2 dice. He needs a pair, but there's 2 outs, so we might as well try it. 1 out of 6 chance. If she gets it, she's going to take the lead. Okay. Dodged a bullet. All right. So she does not score. Move to the bottom of the 9th. I get 2 dice here, and my wife sees what's coming, and she does not want to let this guy get extra dice because he could get an extra base hit. So she's going to just get rid of those 2. So I get an out, nothing to show for it. Next guy gets a die and a token, but he's also out. And now this guy gets a die and 2 outs. I might as well try it. If I get 2 6s, this would be a walk-off home run and the best ending to the video ever. Once again, not close, although I can spend this to turn that into a 6, which means he does get a double. And then my next player is going to get out, but that leaves me back at the top of the order for the next inning, and I'm excited about that. So it looks like we're getting some free baseball here, going to extra innings. Top of the 10th. My wife, first batter, gets a die. She's got no subs left, so she's just got to go with what she has. Next batter gets 3 dice, but there's already 2 outs. Next guy gets a die and a reroll token. Need 3 odd or 3 even. She rolls 3 odd. Yeah, I'll let her do that. So that's a walk. Next guy gets a die. Needs a good difference between high or low. Well, that's 0. She's just going to reroll both. Still 0. All right. So he's out. And she got nothing. So let's see what I can do here. Leadoff batter gets on base. Second batter gets 3 dice and a token. We're going to discard 1 to sacrifice. So we've got a runner in scoring position. My wife's pitcher only has 1 left, but she's going to use it now to get rid of one of those dice. Next guy gets a die. First base is open. All right. Next one gets 2 dice. So here I kind of have a choice. I can roll, try to get a double. If I get at least a sum of 12, I'm going to win. Or I could wait and try to hit a home run with the next guy by rolling 2 pair. But I'm feeling pretty good. I should be able to get 12 with this guy. There it is. A walk-off double drives home the winning run. And I finally beat my wife. Okay, I was making all the decisions for her, but 3-2, 10th inning walk-off double wins the game. And that's how the 2-player version of 7th inning stretch works. Thanks, and have a great day.